raining, it's pouring, and of course I am reading. It's a rainy, hazy day in Hanoi, Vietnam, and I'm going to be trying what I've seen all over BookTube, the first chapter challenge, or try a chapter challenge. The vibe is that I pick a selection of books that I'm interested in reading, and I pick the one I'm actually going to read next by trying with the first chapter of each of them, having a little think about what's pulled me in, what I like about them, and finally picking a winner. And I will of course then vlog the rest of me reading that book. If you're thinking, Liberty, I thought you were in Bali, not Vietnam, you would be right. I have in fact just flown over to another location. I chose to join an extension program. I was teaching in Bali for 6 weeks, and now I'm in Hanoi, and I'll be here for about 3 weeks, and going back at the very beginning of September to very quickly do my dissertation fieldwork, because I'm leaving it till the last minute, shall we say. That means here I am in hot, sweltering, humid, rainy Hanoi. The thing you've been waiting for. What books am I going to be trying out? We have Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, Beautiful World, Where Are You by Rooney, Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Midnight Library by Haig. Bit of a selection. We've got some mystery, we've got some classics, we've got some contemporary, literary. There's a lot going on, and I'm interested to read all of them, though for very different reasons. 2 of them are physical, 2 of them are on my Kindle, as you can see. These are all things that I prepared and I brought with me many moons ago when I was in the UK. I haven't in fact run out of my selection yet, which I really didn't think I would, because I still have tons left on my Kindle, for example, that I haven't read yet. I've also had the good luck of being surrounded by people who have also brought books with them, so we've been swapping and changing, and it's been lovely, which means I have a wide variety still available to me. But of the 4, I have just this morning finished another book. So I'm still in the middle of The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, not through not liking it, but because I unfortunately had to leave it at home because I literally couldn't fit it in my bag. I was like, I can come back to that. I'd rather take full books so I have the full thing to enjoy while I'm away. The only book I brought that I was in the middle of was Emma, and also Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy 2 on my phone. I'm also currently reading Meet Cute Diary by Emery. That's for my queer YA quest. Go check it out up here if you want to. Otherwise, I'm free as a bird. Just finished Journey to the Centre of the Earth by Jules Verne, which was an experience. I enjoyed it. I've never felt such passion for geology before. Which one shall I start with? I'm not really sure. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the order that you've seen them. Maybe I'll get my dorm mate to pick for me. Would you mind picking a number between 1 and 4? 3. I'm reading Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky's first chapter first. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I hope you can hear me. I am in fact filming this in a bit of an interesting location because I'm currently sat on a balcony, like literally on the railing of a hostel room in Hanoi city, because we're in the outskirts, but decided to take a weekend with a couple of other teachers to go into Hanoi proper and actually experience life here, because thus far it's been slightly dreary suburban vibes. So now we're on one of the most touristy streets that there is, and it's kind of fabulous. Kind of love it. Or rather, I'm excited, and it feels more like I'm in, you know, Hanoi and a Southeast Asian city that I've never been to before. It also means it's very loud and chaotic, and my little rural brain is struggling to comprehend. So I found myself reading Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky's first chapter first, because I got one of my roommates back at my house to pick a number between 1 and 4, and that was what we landed on. So I was very fully prepared to read that over my lunch, only to discover that it was literally a few pages long at most. And I was like, So not maybe the most successful or lengthy first chapter to draw me in. We are introduced to this guy, he's unnamed thus far, who is basically intent on being a miser and being horrible. He says he's trying to live his life out of spite, even though he actually can't do that. And thus far it's just this guy ruminating on himself and being like, I'm so horrible, it's the only way that, you know, the world makes any sense, like why would I bother being nice? And we don't really know anything else about him. We've not seen interactions, we've not even really been introduced to the idea of where he lives, except for that it's in St. Petersburg. So I'm interested in that, but it didn't suck me in as perhaps a more lengthy first chapter might have. What I do know about the book, to give you some more background, because that's kind of important, it's a somewhat revolutionary tale from late 1800s Russia. Dostoevsky is a very famous man from Russian literature in the 19th century, and Notes from the Underground is about a guy who's living on sort of the fringes of society. I think he's, I'm not sure the details, but I'm hoping to find that out. However, as I say, the first chapter did not really enlighten me on anything particularly profound. So discovering that I was in fact only 4% of the way through the book, according to my Kindle, I decided to keep going with a different first chapter while I was still eating my lunch, and I started Matt Haig's The Midnight Library. And then again, it turned out to be barely a few pages long, and I was just like, what is this curse that's happened to me? I am still only getting to 4% of this second book. Why do first chapters appear to be so short in this random selection of books I've got? Anyway, I'm sure you know The Midnight Library. It's been a very famous one all over, you know, BookTube and BookTok and what have you in the last few years. It's basically about this woman who decides to end her own life, and when she does that, she finds herself in a library, like a kind of afterlife library, which is filled with all the different paths her life could have taken. The introductory section, the introductory chapter that we've seen so far, is her in school with the librarian, avoiding all the other kids, and the librarian is saying, you know, you have so many paths ahead of you, and she is feeling really kind of sad and irresolute about the whole situation, only to then be told some really terrible news. And we don't get told what that terrible news is yet, but we're assuming it's going to change the course of her life and lead to the mental health issues that are causing her to want to die later down the line. According to the next page of the book, 19 years will pass between the first chapter and the second. Her name is Nora. That's also all I know. I don't know if I've spoken about this book before, but I don't have terribly high hopes because there have been some really different takes on how it handles mental health, like severe depression or, you know, mental health issues that are causing her to have suicidal ideation. That is a really intense thing to be talking about, and I've heard some reviews saying that it's handled really interestingly and effectively, and, you know, gets the message across to those who might not otherwise have kind of met this idea before. But others have said that it is making way too light of the situation, and that it's way too flippant, the idea that she can just get better after seeing all these other life paths. So we'll see how that one goes. Anywho, I realise I've brought my books with me and then I just haven't been holding them up to you. Ooh! Let's try not to drop neither the book nor me down this very tall balcony. As first chapters go, the first chapter of The Midnight Library was actually quite effective because it gave you a taste of the issue, it gave you a taste of this girl who's already so dissatisfied with life, and there are so many questions surrounding that, as well as the obvious cliffhanger of being told terrible news that we don't know what it constitutes yet. So as it goes, even though it was very short, that one did pull me in a little bit more, and so as the ranking goes at the moment, I'm more excited to read The Midnight Library than I am Notes from the Underground. And then in the car on the way here, I decided I was going to pick up Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney and start the first chapter of that, and I'm literally like 2 pages in, so I can't give you any updates on that aspect yet, but what I can tell you is about the book itself. Again, a really popular BookTube fave, and there's a really strong chance you know all about it already, but Sally Rooney is one of the babes of BookTube. She is a contemporary writer of kind of literary contemporary fiction. She's Irish, and she has written Conversations with Friends, which I adored, Normal People, which I thought was good, but honestly I prefer the TV show. You know, the Daisy Edgar Jones x Paul Mescal TV show was really quite revolutionary. And now we have her third and currently only other existing book, which has come out with a splash. You know, all the Sally Rooney girlies are up on it and say it's great. I'm just a bit behind the trends, so I really want to read it. But if you saw my reading vlog from summer term, which I'll link up here, you will know that I had this kind of debate going, like, oh, if I read it too soon, am I gonna have ruined the whole situation for myself? Because there are only 3 Sally Rooney books, and if I read the third one, I'll have to wait several years maybe before the next one. I had this whole thing, it was dramatic, didn't decide to read it then. Then I put it on my Bali TBR, again, linked above, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna read, not even in Bali, but before I go. This is part of my list of things I'm gonna read and get done with before I leave the country. Didn't get around to it, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to give it back, that's fine, I'll accept my loss, and I will read it another time. Only for my mum to show up on the day, the last day where I was going to be moving out, and she was helping me move stuff to storage, and then she said, oh, Liberty, I've got a present for you, and pulled out Beautiful World, Where Are You? Not knowing at all that it had been something I'd been toing and froing with. She just was like, oh, I know you like Sally Rooney, so I got you this book. And I was like, Mum, you're a dream come true. And I'm excited to see how the first chapter goes. This first chapter, wonderful, show-stopping, spectacular. Like, I was just immediately dragged in, and it was so engaging that I actually forgot I was supposed to be just reading the first chapter and straight up started the second one, which, you know, was great. There was a line in it that already, like, I had to underline, so this brought me immense joy and peace, and I was like, yes, I've been missing Sally Rooney writing in my life. It's beautiful. This one's topping the list so far, folks, like, quite easily. And also, you know, it wasn't that many pages long, but it was still slightly longer than the weirdly short Midnight Library and Notes from the Underground first chapters respectively. So it really did it. I'm engaged. I want to know more. I want to be in this world. Wonderful. But one more book to try, which is Murder on the Orient Express. So I will read the first chapter of this one and tell you what I think. Looking incredibly disheveled right now, but hello. So I have finished the first chapter, which was Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. But as you can see, I once again forgot the point of this challenge and just kept reading, even further than Beautiful World, Where Are You, before I realised. So 3 chapters down, I'm very engaged. I've got to say, after 1 chapter, I was mediocrely engaged, but like, as with any good mystery novel, maybe I should say, the first chapter is gripping. Everything is gripping. The whole point is that you know something bad is going to happen and you want to know what that is. You want to know what goes down. Obviously, it's not like a completely even playing field, because I did accidentally read more of this one than the others. 31 pages of the book versus maybe 5 or 10 for the first 2, and like 15 for Beautiful World, Where Are You? Here we are now. I've read those pages, I can't go back, and I'm very into it. So the book I will be continuing to read is Murder on the Orient Express. Didn't see that coming, quite honestly, but here we are, and I'm really excited. I'm genuinely excited. It's already shaping up to be a bit of an interesting one. There's a few shady characters. There's Hercule Poirot being his usual mustachioed self, and I'm excited. I also have literally just been talking today and yesterday about the fact that I really want to go on some like traveling journeys that are based on the like train itself. Like, there are some beautiful stretches of railway in like the Alps and in Italy and in various places in Switzerland. Stretches of railway to be enjoyed, like the traveling is itself part of the experience, and I very much want to give that a go, because I've realised that flying by plane is just a really weird experience. So here I am. I have finished 86 pages of Murder on the Orient Express. A little bit of the way into part 2 was titled something very dramatic. What was it? Part 2, The Evidence, with a nice handy map, which I do keep referring back to. So Thank you to those who made this edition. But anyway, being 30-ish% of the way through, I thought it was time to give you a little update on what I think of this book. And once again, like I say, it's the classic detective novel. It's the classic mystery thriller where you are so sucked in by everything because that's the point. These are stories that are supposed to just grip you and make you be like, what is going on? And it's so easy to just sit there and fly through the pages and just not ever stop. It's giving Snowy Mountain, it's giving Locked in a Room Together, it's giving dramatic tale of class and gender and race and revenge. It's giving absolutely ridiculous Hercule Poirot with his massive moustache, and it's giving enjoyability. That's what it's giving. It's great. It's great. And frankly, no, I don't know what's going on. Right now, I would say that there's an interesting lack of information about the Hungarian ambassadors. We, thus far, just know that they look very chic and cool and that they are a count and countess, respectively. But that's all we know about them, and I think there's a lot more to unpack there. I'd like to know about their sordid pasts. We know that the person who has been killed was a horrible person, which adds a little bit of grey morality to the situation, and I'm excited to learn more. Like, this is just a really good, fun situation, and I really don't remember the story. So clearly I felt exactly the same about the movie as I'm sure I will about the book, which is that it's a really enjoyable story to fly through. There's nothing necessarily that profound or like incredible about it that's going to stick in my brain. It's just very enjoyable and cinematic and great. Did Agatha Christie actually take these travels that she talks about? This is the second detective novel of hers that I've read, and both of them so far have been travel ones. I know that some of hers are based in the UK, obviously, a lot of them, I guess, but the two I've read have been very intricate and detailed stories of those who've been traveling, and I'm just like, did Agatha Christie pull on her own experiences? Did she just read lots of information or hear information from others and then somehow manage to write these books? Are they accurate? Are they inaccurate? I'd be really interested to find out. Which raises another interesting query, which is why do some genres get elevated to the status of classic while others don't? This is a classic of the crime novel genre, of the detective novel genre, and yet for some reason there haven't been Penguin classics of it. There's no introduction with some eminent professor who's done a literary analysis. There's no notes at the back with detailed information, names, locations, places, cultural references, which is present in every other classic that you read nowadays. There's very beautiful editions with a whole compilation of notes so that the modern reader can appreciate and understand the story to its fullest extent. But why not a Christie novel? Why not?
Well, hello my friends, I hope you're doing well. I'm now 84% of the way through, 231 pages through, and it is cracking. I'm enjoying this quite considerably more than I did Death on the Nile. I don't know whether that's situation, vibes, or if it's actually that much better a story, but there's just something so intriguing about this one. The all locked in together because of the snow, and where could the murderer possibly be hiding? Is it one of the people, like everyone with their like false identities and things going on? It's just really cool. And it's also just so satisfyingly set up. Like, it's exactly what you would envision from a Christie novel. Like, first of all, there's some intriguing things that happen to Poirot. Then there's a murder. Poirot is asked to investigate. You have the evidence. You have him thinking, and then we're about to have the big reveal where he goes, and of course, this is how it must have happened. You know, classic detective novel stuff. I mean, think about Sherlock Holmes. It's just really fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I really have no idea what's going on. There was one red herring already of someone who it could have been, but that's been gone. And we're now just at the stage where, like I say, we're about to have the proper reveal, but all I can say is I think Hildegard Schmidt is suspicious. I think that she may have something to do with it. I've seen the movie version, the like recent movie version before of this, and I just can't remember a thing. And it was a few years ago I saw the movie, but I truly can't remember a single thing. Nothing has actually twinged my memory, even from the book itself, apart from that there's a princess, like a old lady princess. It means that I truly don't know what's about to happen, and it's all very exciting because of that. I've managed to get sunburned today, so my cheeks are feeling a little bit sore. I have also had a massage, and it was really quite lovely, but I literally found myself on that table, like face down, going, who could the murderer be? And like thinking through the different characters and their alibis. So that's how much this book is like intriguing me, because I was literally in a massage, like thinking relaxing thoughts, and my mind turned to the murder.
Well, here we are. Please excuse the fact that I look a bit like a rat, and if you can hear any background noise, I'm once again filming this on a balcony, this time outside a cafe. So, I've finished Murder on the Orient Express, and it was a banger. A banger. You know what? The first chapter, like the first several chapters, as you know, I accidentally read 3, but they were really gripping. They were like, oh, what's going on? And the whole book was just an absolute brilliant arc of a story. The whodunit was great. I was so surprised. And, you know, Agatha Christie is just so clever in the way that she constructs stories like this, which play really cleverly on chance and the suspension of disbelief of the reader, and all these kind of things which make you not quite sure what's going on right up until the very last moment. It's fabulous. It's fabulous. I gave this book 5 stars. Might be extravagant, but I was just so gripped by it. I just didn't have anything else that I thought I could give it at the time. I'm just enjoying books at the moment, folks. So thanks so much for joining me for this little try a first chapter, read the book challenge situation. And, you know, come back soon to watch me read more cracking books. So thank you very much. See you soon, and goodbye.